Hi there, future paraprofessional. As you begin to prepare for your upcoming ParaPro exam, you know that there are 3 types of questions, including reading, math, and writing. And in this video, I'm going to present you with 10 writing questions that each use an important question format that you need to be prepared with to pass this upcoming exam. So without further ado, let's complete this practice test together. Now, first, question number 1 reads, select the word in quotations that contains an error. This is a common question format on the ParaPro exam where you will read a question within the writing section and identify the error. So let's go ahead and do that together. Pause the video if you would like before I provide the correct solution. All right, so let's use red here. Now, the selected sentence reads, the company planned to expand its operations, but some executives have requested additional funds unnecessarily. So this plan is lacking in S. The company plans. So that would be A. All right, now let's go on down to number 2, which reads, select the word in quotation that contains an error. So same format, 2 different questions. This one reads, the culinary instructor recommend tasting each ingredient individually before combining them, since certain spices can overpower delicate flavors. Did you notice how while reading out loud, my brain automatically included the ED at the end? So one more time, a good test-taking strategy when identifying errors is to actually verbally read the sentence out loud, because oftentimes your ears will think that sounds incorrect, and you're probably right. So one more time, the culinary instructor recommend tasting each ingredient. All right, so recommends to taste or recommended tasting. All right, so right here, I see that answer option letter A is the incorrect as recommend as it's currently written. So now let's go on to question number 3. Diverse and lush vegetation, bamboo thrives in humid rainforests, arid desert foothills, mountainous terrains, and breezy coastal regions. The question here is, what is the subject of the sentence? The key word here is the subject. Now, while taking your ParaPro exam, you'll be asked to identify different grammatical points. In this case, we're looking for the subject, and the subject of this sentence is bamboo, which is letter B. Is that what you got too? All right, let's keep it moving. Now, let's go on to question number 4. During the mid-20th century, amateur astronomers cataloged several faint meteor showers never previously documented in astronomy journals. Question here states, what is the simple predicate in the sentence above? Now, in order to understand what the simple predicate is, you'll have to remember what the predicate is. And remember, within a sentence, you have the subject and you have the predicate. And so it will help to identify the predicate by first answering or finding the subject. Now, the subject here is these astronomers, these amateur astronomers. Now, remember that the predicate is what's being done to the subject. Now, what are they doing? They are cataloging several faint meteor showers never previously documented in astronomy journals. And if the question was, what is the complete predicate, that entire second part of the sentence would be the answer. However, the simple predicate is the verb that the subject is mostly doing, which in this case is cataloged. So we'll move down here. We see that answer option D is the correct solution. Let's now move on to question number 5, which reads, for nearly a decade, residents vigorously challenged the construction of a crowded expressway near their community center. Question here reads, in the sentence above, the word wrapped in quotes, vigorously, is being used as. Now, there is a tip that I'm thinking of right now. The first thing that I see is that this word vigorously ends in ly, and we'll recall that something to keep in mind is that it is more than likely an adverb. Okay, that is the correct answer. Let's move on down now to question number 6, which reads, bald eagles have distinctive white head feathers, enabling them to be identified from great distances in open skies. Question here, in the sentence above, the word wrapped in quotes is being used as. Now, so what we are doing is we are identifying what type of word this word distinctive is. Now, I do see that it comes right before white head feathers. So now this word distinctive is also, it is describing the bald eagles, and a word that is used to describe a noun is the adjective, which is answer option B. So let's keep on moving, go down further. Number 7 reads, which word is not spelled correctly? So take a moment here, pause the video, read answer options A through D, and find the word that is not spelled correctly. That is conscience, because remember, conscience usually has an I before the E. So Conscience. All right, now let's go on down to question number 8, which reads, May wants to quickly find the geographic features of a specific nation. Which source would be best to consult for this information? Dictionary, thesaurus, atlas, or encyclopedia? Now, although we can find a lot of information with all of these resources, the key term here for me that comes, like, kind of draws my attention is this geographic relationship, which is going to be best discovered, found, and learned through reading an atlas. So we'll select answer option C. And now let's go on down to our last 2 questions. And if you've stuck around so far, great job. If you feel like this video is helping you, or the other test prep videos I've created for your upcoming ParaPro exam, make sure to hit that thumbs up button. I totally appreciate it. Now let's go on to reading the category here. It says, questions 9 and 10 are based on the following classroom situation. And while taking your ParaPro exam, especially in the reading and the writing section, you'll notice that many of these questions will have a text passage above that you will have to read in order to correctly answer the question. So let's go ahead, and before we actually dive into these this introduction, as well as these, looks like 4 different sentences, what I highly recommend for you to do is understand first and foremost what the question is asking you. So I'm actually going to skip reading the text passage first. I'm going to read the question to understand what I'm looking for, and I'm going to go back up. So question number 9 reads, which sentence most strongly suggests that the primary purpose of the essay is to persuade the reader? So remember that there are different types of writing work, such as one is to persuade, another is to describe, one is to inform, one other is narrative, right? So now let's go ahead and let's take a look at the introduction, and let's learn about the context. This reads, Miss Torres's 5th grade class has been learning how writers adjust their tone, word choice, and structure depending on their purpose and audience. Students were asked to write a single sentence from an essay written for a specific goal. Here we go. To persuade, inform, describe, and entertain. Here are the 4 sentences. So it looks like we have 4 different sentences from 4 different students, and what we are asked to identify is the sentence that persuades the reader. So sentence 1 reads, you should, and just right there, that seems pretty persuasive to me. You should definitely try our school's robotics club. Okay, I'm going to pause there. I'm going to read this. The Sahara Desert is the largest hot desert. That's more informational. Number 3 reads, the golden leaves crunched beneath my boots. And this is a beautifully written sentence, but it doesn't seem very persuasive to me. Let's keep going. As I wandered through the quiet, foggy forest. That is definitely more of a descriptive type of sentence. And then sentence 4 reads, yesterday my little brother thought a squirrel was talking to him from the tree. And that was just the beginning. Okay, so that sounds much more like narrative writing. So I'm going to go back up. I'm going to read the incomplete sentence number 1 just to make sure, because I do so far think that that looks best. You should definitely try our school's robotics club. It's a fun way to make new friends while learning cool tech skills. That to me is the persuasive sentence. So I'm going to go and circle sentence number 1 or answer option A. Now let's go on down and take a look at number 10, our final question. This one reads, which sentence most strongly suggests that the primary purpose of the essay is to describe something? Okay, so here we go. Again, we already saw the different formats after reading the students' sentences. And the one that I noticed that was descriptive was that beautifully, I mean, they're all very nicely written, but a descriptive sentence is just sort of lovely to read. Notice the words that they've used. The golden leaves crunched beneath my boots as I wandered through the quiet, foggy forest. That definitely is the descriptive sentence, which came from sentence number 3. So let's go on down. There is sentence 3 listed here, and I feel confident that we have our sentence used to describe something. All right, this was 10 questions out of our full ParaPro test prep lesson, as well as our complete ParaPro practice test. Now, in the teacherpreps.com test prep, we have 2 full-length ParaPro online timed tests that you will definitely want to check to make sure that you're ready for test day. I've left a link in the description below, so go ahead, click that, and get access to all of the study materials that you need to make passing simple.